Interwaste is a South African waste management company. It has a market cap of 440 million rand, a PE ratio of 11.1, and it doesn't pay a dividend. Now, this is like the South African version of waste management. Yeah. I know the management fairly well. I remember hearing a story when they were starting up the business. They took their kids over Christmas period to go collect waste, literally on Christmas Eve. So they are hard workers, and they built it up from scratch. And they fulfill a very important function within the South African economy.
Yeah, you're right. And I think also if you look at a municipality's inability to actually do the job of waste management, more and more I think they're going to turn to companies like Interwaste to actually franchise it out. So they do that. Also, as we mentioned with waste management, they're into getting landfill gas, from the landfills. So an innovative company, without a shadow of a doubt. And I could just see in a country like South Africa, where we do produce an awful lot of waste, then the prospects really are huge and properly managed, and it's a well-managed company. So I see a rosy future for these guys.
Our waste management legislation here is fairly forward-looking, forward-thinking, fairly developed. Yet I don't think the compliance is as much as we would want and hope. So these guys also do quite a lot of consulting for big companies, but I guess what they want is just more compliance among smaller businesses. And if that starts picking up, it is geared towards South Africa industrial business, which has struggled lately.
Yeah, no, you're right. But again, I think the more enlightened South African businesses, we mentioned Woolies, and it's a slow process, but eventually people realize that it's not just a greedy thing, it's not just good for the environment, it actually makes an awful lot of business sense. So incorporating, embracing these guys, aligning with them into the future, again, makes a lot of business sense.
And their landfills, the FG landfill, which was their by far biggest profit driver, they had some issues there. I think a few residents around the area were moaning about the smells, so they seem to have sorted that out, and now they've got 2 more landfills coming online. So if that could almost triple their profits if those landfills, there's one in Delmas and another one somewhere around Germiston, if those 2 start kicking like the FG did, then we could see a big earnings growth.
Yeah, and sitting on 11 times PE, this is not an expensive exercise.
It's had a long past. It's struggled since listing. I think it listed at 1 rand. It's at 90 cents, so it hasn't done much. Are you going to call huts on this one?
I think I am. It's a small company, but it's one that you can get excited about. And again, it's a solid kind of operator. We're not talking about, there are not too many potential gremlins in there that could derail this thing. So yeah, I can get quite excited about this one.
Run by the Wilcox family. I think they're fellow Scots, so you got to go.
Really? Don't know.